All right, coach. Regular season done with. Ended it with a 5-1 win over Vermont. Headed into the postseason, gonna face Vermont at home to open the Hockey East playoffs. Just want to get your thoughts heading into the postseason and the Wednesday matchup.
Yeah, well, we're certainly excited to be playing at home tomorrow night. But we also know that last Thursday's game bears zero implications on tomorrow night's game. Our seniors were in this position when they were freshmen, where we beat Providence in the last game of the year to get home ice, and then had to face Providence again at home the following week, and we lost to that team. So we understand that playoffs is a completely different animal in the regular season, and we expect a much tougher game tomorrow because for both teams, one of them season's going to end, and when that's on the line, the games are definitely a lot more intense.
All right, we'll open up for questions. Joe, you want to start us off?
Sure. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Joe.
Um, is the intensity the biggest difference, in your opinion, between playoffs and regular season?
Yeah, I think so. When you're playing for a trophy and a chance to play at the Boston Garden or TD Garden, whatever the hell they call it now, I'm not sure. But it's one, it's exciting, but I think Joe and Jerry York used to always refer to it as you got to take someone's sticks away, and when you're going to take someone's sticks away, there's a lot of intensity in that game. And I don't care if it's 1-8, 1-12, 8-9, 3-6. It doesn't matter if, where we're both in the situation. I think if you look at all of the first round games, New Hampshire's playing Lowell, Northeastern's playing Merrimack, and, we're playing Vermont. The losers of those games, their season ends. None of us are guaranteed to go to the national tournament. So those games are going to be really intense when that's on the line.
You said the Thursday night game doesn't have any implications on Wednesday night, but what that you did especially well Thursday, do you have to replicate tomorrow?
I think what we have to do is when we get grade A scoring opportunities, we have to hit the net. When we only missed the net on one grade A opportunity on last Thursday night. And I've been talking about it quite a bit. I think that was one of our major problems early on in the year or throughout the year, because when you get a grade A opportunity and you hit the net, one, it has a chance to go in, but two, it usually creates a rebound if it doesn't go in, because on a grade A, it's hard for a goalie to stop that clean or direct it sometimes to the corner. They're usually just trying to make a save. And when there's a rebound, that creates another grade A opportunity. So you're giving yourself more chances to score.
And last one for me, can you talk about Pascucci's development? I mean, he's been a pretty solid guy on you for the last couple of weeks. Gives you a pretty good physical presence.
Yeah, he does. He gives a physical presence. I still think there's times where Jack is a work in progress, but I also have liked where he's come from. Where he went from maybe playing 8 games as a freshman to being steady in the lineup now, and a lot of that's due to his hard work and a very coachable kid, and he's keeping the game simple. And when he does that, he's very effective for us.
Randy, we'll jump over to you.
Thanks, Colin. Morning, Cav. How you doing today?
Good morning, Randy. I'm great, thanks.
I know you've mentioned in years past that it's about playing your best hockey this time of year, and shoring up certain things and playing your best game when you go into the playoffs. What do you think you're doing really well right now? And what is one thing that you'd like to shore up even more that you're going to have your focus on tomorrow?
Yeah, I think, well, when you get to this type of year, survive in advance, like you have to find a way to, there is like, we can sit here all we want and say, oh, we outshot them 2-1, or we played really well, but we couldn't find a way to score. That doesn't really cut it because, if that's the case, you're going home. So I think what we have to do is when we're playing well, we manage the puck in the neutral zone. We don't turn it over. We get in on the forecheck, and we don't give up odd man rushes. I think that's really important that we make sure that we're not giving up any odd man rushes.
Matthew Wood has kind of gone on a bit of a tear here at the end of the year, and the 2 goals he scored last game, what I noticed that I hadn't noticed from him before, is just what incredible reach he has. The one-handed effort to knock in that first and just get the defense for that loose puck in the slot. Can you tell me about what a difference his reach, his ability to kind of like go get pucks at areas that other guys might not be able to get to?
Yeah, I don't know if it was so much reach as it was he was going to the net. That was the biggest thing for me. On the first goal, he's driving to the net and he knocks a puck in. And on the second goal, he's driving to the net. He tries to make a play to tattle, but he stays with it. And second and third effort, he gets a puck, and you saw where he scored it. He was right in front of the net. And I think if he's going to be an effective player, and if you look at the goals that he scored against Northeastern, it's a give and go when he's going to the net. Like he's got the goal scorers have to be going to the net. Very few are scored. Yes, he has the ability to beat a guy with a one-timer. There's no question about it. But if you're going to score goals consistently, and all the great goal scorers I've seen, they don't rely on beating goaltenders from the top of the circles. They get to the net. And I think that's the biggest thing for him.
And how about final one for me, Joey Moldowy with a couple, and a guy who's had a lot of chances. I was surprised to see that those were only 3 and 4 of the year, because it seems like he's always creating opportunities. How good was that for him to hit the back of the net a couple times with how many opportunities he's been creating this year?
Yeah, he's been playing great for us, especially the second half of the year. As a kid, I'm really excited about going forward in this program, but it was good to see him get a couple goals, and one being an empty netter, but he beat his guy up the ice, to get that. And I'm not sure that was going in anyway, watching it. He definitely knocked that in. So, and that ices the game, I think it's he's a really good player, and throughout the playoffs, you have to have balanced scoring. You can't just rely on one line, or it's going to bite you at some point. So we're going to need him to continue to play that way.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dan, we'll jump over to you.
You've been talking a lot about that Providence game back in 2021, the double against do you feel like you went into that playoff game not taking it as seriously as you could have because you had just beaten them?
No, I don't think that was the case. Maybe I think we took the game very seriously, Dan. I don't think we've ever not taken a playoff game seriously since I've been here. I think maybe we were a little overconfident, because we were up 5-0 in that game. I just think it's a good thing, a reminder, like when you're in a situation that's very similar, it's a good thing to remind the guys, just because we beat them on Thursday night doesn't mean that this is going to be an easy game come Wednesday night. And that's my importance of this, why I have talked about it. Look at history and don't let it repeat itself. Let's come in here and understand that this is going to be a much tougher game than it was on Thursday night.
is there a balance though between getting some confidence from that game last Thursday, because it has been a struggle to score at home and win at home, Toscano specifically, that at least the guys know they can do it, and just trying to find that balance between not being overconfident?
Yeah, I don't know. I think every game is its own entity. We scored against Harvard here. We beat Lowell here. I mean, we've won games in this building. This team, I think, went 5-2 or last year, or 4. I don't know what it was. They had a winning record in Toscano last year. For this year, sometimes it goes that way, but you're only as good as your next game. And our guys have the confidence that they can score against anybody. They do. And a lot of it comes down to making sure, like I said, when we get grade A's, we got to make sure they're on the net and we're not letting the goalie off the hook.
Stan, we'll jump over to you.
Great. Hey, Coach. What's preparation look like heading into the postseason? Is it any different than you would approach a regular season game? Do you focus in on anything more specifically? What's that like as you prepare for the postseason?
I don't think we prepare really any differently. I just think naturally, the guys are a lot more dialed in. They understand what is at stake. So our practices have been pretty crisp yesterday and Sunday. So, but we're not preparing any differently. Like we this time of year, I don't think you need 2-hour practices. I think it's more about a 45 minutes and refining what we do well. That's what we're working on.
And you've mentioned, you've had a number of players who have gone through the Hockey East postseason before and have experience in it. How much does experience help in these situations?
Yeah, I think it certainly does help, because we've had a number of players who have played in a championship game, the Hockey East championship game. And I think the experience of that is what drives them to get back there. I think that's what helps. When you've never played in it, you don't know what it feels like. You don't really have a great understanding of it. When you've been there and you've been in it, then I think you really have that desire to get back to that game. So that's where I think it helps.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Randy, you got something?
I do. One more, just to kind of piggyback on Sam, in particular, this senior class has been through COVID. They've been to a Hockey East championship. They've had highs, they've had lows, opened up the new building. How much would winning a playoff game tomorrow and going on a run with this group mean?
Yeah, I think it would mean, I think with any group you coach, Randy, it means a lot. I've been fortunate in my career where I've coached back-to-back Hockey East championship teams, and I've been a part of teams that have won back-to-back Hockey East championships. And it wasn't like the second one didn't feel as good as the first one. So I think any team you coach, it means a lot to that specific group. Now, it doesn't define them as individuals, just because Mark Gatcomb and Jakob Kondelik didn't win Hockey East championships, it doesn't make me think any differently of them. But like, the one thing I've told our players is that if you do win a Hockey East championship, the season never ends, because they bring you back 10 years from now and 20 years from now for reunions. So that's the thing we're focused on.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Dan.
Anyone that's uncertain for tomorrow night?
No, as of today, we're full up.
Go ahead, Joe.
Cav, how did Chase come through Thursday night after not playing a few games? And how did you like how that line worked with Hudson and Jake?
Yeah, I thought they played really well, and I thought Chase played really well. So he's had another good week of practice. he's full up. He's ready to go.